In this movie, we take a look at embedded styles. As mentioned in a previous movie, the embedded style sheets exist inside of the HTML document. Embedded styles have to be placed inside of a style tag. According to specifications, this style tag should be placed inside of the head of the document, and it follows the idea of separation of appearance and structure. However, most browsers will let you get away with putting these style tags inside of the body of the HTML document. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. So what you should do is you should just go ahead and put that style information into the head. Now, one of the reasons why I recommend that you do that is because when you go back to update your styles, you have centralized those styles into one location rather than having to hunt down through the rest of the HTML document to find the styles you need to update. Now, when do you want to use embedded styles? As a general rule, you want to use embedded styles when the style information will only affect a single page. If you are going to create a style that will be affecting multiple pages, then you need to place that in an external style sheet and then connect that style sheet with your HTML document. Now let's go ahead and look at how we can do this by using our CSS sandbox. Now, I already have the CSS sandbox file open for this particular exercise, and that's inside of my Documents, CSS2 exercise files, sandbox 03 sandbox.html. Now here I have a document that I have staged, and we're just going to do some pretty simple things with this. So let me go ahead and jump over to Notepad where I've already opened that. And I need to create my style region. Let me go ahead and resize my window a little bit. Now just below my title in the head, I will place in my style tag. Now my style tag needs to have the attribute of type with the value set to text/CSS. Now this type is basically saying that the style information inside of our style tag is going to be cascading style sheet information. It's important to put this because there are a lot of different style sheet types out there. Now by default, if you don't place the text/CSS type attribute in here, most browsers are going to default to use CSS as that style sheet type. Now, of course, whenever I'm building my HTML documents, I also like to go ahead and build the full structure here so that I don't forget to add in my closing tag later on. So I've got my opening and my closing style, and I also need to put in an HTML comment. Now, the reason why I comment out my styles is because some browsers don't understand the style tag. So if the browser comes in and it reads this style tag, but sees that there's actual content inside of that style tag, it will actually try to display that in your HTML document. So rather than having all of your rules just listed out on your HTML page, which of course is not really the design you want, what we do is we hide it using HTML comments. So that's our basic structure here for an embedded style sheet. Let's go ahead and let's create a rule. So I'm going to create a rule that will be applied to the body tag, and I want to make it red. Now actually I'm not going to make the body red, it's going to make the content of the body red. And we'll talk more about how these different properties work in upcoming movies. But for now, I'll just go ahead and I'll save that, and you can either go again, File, Save, or use your keyboard shortcut. And that's really the reason why I pulled this up, because if you're not using your keyboard shortcuts at this point in time, you might be wasting a lot of time. So I save, and then I jump over to my browser, and I will refresh, and I end up seeing all sorts of great stuff. So very quickly, with one little rule, I have changed the entire style of our document. And that concludes this simple look at embedded style sheets.